Let's say that now I want to add a new clip between these two clips. To do that, I can simply hold this clip, drag it to the right, maybe select this clip for example, drag it between these two clips, and bring this clip back here. Now, there is nothing wrong with this approach of adding clips. However, when editing, saving time is extremely important because you might have to repeat the same operation more than 1,000 times in an editing session. So if you waste the tiniest bit of time on every operation, overall you're going to be wasting a lot of time in your session. So Resolve offers some very handy shortcuts that allows us to save time when adding clips. Let's undo everything so we're back to the two clips we originally started with. And again, I want to add this clip between these two clips. So I'll drag this clip. Note that this method works whether you drag the clip from the media pool or from the source monitor. It's the same thing. Now I'll drag the clip, but instead of dragging it to the timeline, I'll drag it on top of the monitor. And notice what happened. Now I have extra options shown to the right. These are shortcuts that allows me to perform complex tasks when adding a new clip to the timeline. But before we take a look at these shortcuts, let's understand something very important. Most of these shortcuts depend on the current position of the playhead on your timeline. So for example, if I place the playhead at this point, most of these shortcuts will perform their operations starting at this particular point in the timeline because I have the playhead here. They also depend heavily on the in and out points of your clip. So on this clip, this is the in point and this is the out point. So a lot of the shortcuts will take these points into consideration when performing their operations. Let's take a look at an example. Now I know I want to add this clip in between these two clips. So I'll start by dragging the playhead exactly between these two clips. So now when I add the clip, it will be added starting at this particular point. So now I'll drag the clip to the monitor. And let's take a look at the first option, which is insert. In simple terms, the insert operation opens the gap, starting at the point where the playhead is located, and it adds the selected clip in this gap. So notice what will happen to the timeline once I release the mouse button while the clip is over the word insert. Resolve opened the gap between these two clips and it inserted the selected clip. Let's undo and let's take a look on how the position of the playhead affects this operation. I'll bring the playhead in the middle of this clip and I'll repeat the same thing, dragging this clip on top of insert, and I'm going to release the mouse button, and Resolve created a cut in the position of the playhead, and it cut this clip into two separate parts, and it added the newly inserted clip in between. Let's undo. So in very simple terms, this is insert. Insert simply creates a new gap in your timeline and adds the selected clip. Now it's very important to note that it does not add the entire clip. It only adds the selected portion of the clip, and only in the case where we do not have a selected portion. So for example, to remove my selection, I'll go to Mark and select Clear In and Out. So because I don't have any selected portion now, if I repeat the same operation, Resolve will add the entire clip. So let's repeat the same thing. I'll drag the clip on top of insert and release the mouse button and look at the timeline. Resolve added the entire clip at the location of the playhead. Let's undo everything. There is one more thing to note here. Currently, I have one track. I'll right click and add a new track. So now I have two video tracks in my timeline. Note V1 and V2. As discussed before, currently this video has this color around it, which means that currently this is my target track. So if I drag a clip to insert, it's inserted on this particular track because it's the selected track. I know it's selected because of the orange color around it. Let's undo and I'll click on V2. So currently V2 is being selected. And if I repeat the same operation by dragging to insert, it's the same behavior exactly, with one difference. After creating the gap, Resolve added the clip to the second track because it's the currently selected track. One more thing. Here I have a shortcut to insert. So let's undo and I'll simply place the playhead here. And now, because I have this clip loaded into the source monitor, if I simply click this button, it will perform insert. So we have a shortcut here that is slightly easier than dragging your clip all the way to insert. Let's undo. I can simply click this button to perform an insert operation with the clip that is currently loaded into the source monitor. And this was simply insert.